there's some things that I think other coaching staffs may do better than others, and some things other coaching staffs may do better than the other coaching staffs over here. And so it's just trying to think.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
It's amazing how many people will follow you just to tell you how terrible you are. And I was like, well, why are you following me? Think that's Twitter. Think about
I know
that.
it is.
Think about that.
I feel smarter not being on.
Think about following people that you don't enjoy following.
Now, look, I like
People
stirring
are
stuff
looking
up
for
as much as anyone. I mean, you guys know that. But some of this stuff on Twitter, it's like, you people are just looking for a fight. Bo could say the sky's blue. Somebody that doesn't like Bo, by God, that's a black sky.
Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
Driving my son to school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo
There we
show."
go.
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
I know we've got many pressing matters to get to today, but I was just reading Bart's rundown here. Gage Wood, wouldn't that be cool to like have your cleats donated to the Baseball Hall of Fame? I mean, they're going to the baseball, not just like the college or the like Arkansas or Batesville Hall of Fame. I'm talking the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Be there forever.
I was thinking, how do I get Chuck's Hey Dudes in the Broadcasting Hall of Fame? Now that's
those
something
would
for
be
the
good.
kids.
Yeah, that would be good.
Kids, look at this. I used to work with this guy.
Yeah,
I used to listen to this guy on the radio.
yeah.
Maybe it'd be like the Cleveland Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
These-
Kids, we're going to Cleveland. What for? We got to see Uncle Chuck's Hush Puppies.
Yeah,
Hey, dudes.
he wears these every day in the summer, and they're worn out.
Hey, this is I walked into work every day. And actually, you know what it'd be? Your coffee mug.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
When you're not here, we have like a Bear Bryant sort of memorial setup over here. It's like you're at the Bear Bryant Museum in Tuscaloosa.
I'm gonna start leaving my house shoes here. Like, back in the old days when we were kids, we watched Mr. Rogers. He left his house shoes right there by the door.
Sweater, put a different sweater on.
I'm gonna start leaving my house shoes right by the table here, where I can just slip them on when I walk in.
It's some version of the, like Saturday Night Live set, but people aren't there.
Right.
Like when you go to a TV set,
Yeah.
and they have like still the robes hanging
That's
up
right.
over here
Yeah.
on the coat rack.
That's right.
That's what we need.
That is what we need.
Oh, yeah. We got to start thinking about stuff like this. Gage Wood,
Posterity.
he's just
Posterity.
getting started with his life,
I
and he's
know.
got his shoes in the Hall of Fame.
Hey, I know this. Every member of the Wood family is going to make a trip to Cooperstown. Nobody in that family is going to say, no, I've never been. I mean, they're all going.
Oh, man.
That would just be cool.
I mean, how do you memorialize a no-hitter? Shoes. What else are you going to use?
I mean, you can't, I guess the baseball, but that's not as dramatic as shoes.
No, that's for a home run.
Yeah.
The ball is for a home run.
Right.
They were all carrying a score sheet around. We didn't really talk about this because we were so enamored by the moment, as we should have been. 19 strikeouts, a no-hitter at the College World Series. Arguably, I don't even know if it's arguably, the best performance on the mound since aluminum bats. And how do you memorialize it? They're all carrying the scorebook around.
Well, whoever's got that score sheet will
Like
keep it.
walking around.
Somebody will keep it.
By the way, was that before or after Bart burned his Oregon State score sheet?
Did you burn that?
Not yet, no.
Oh,
Not
okay.
yet.
The day you brought it in and made a big deal
I
about
remember
it,
that.
Was that before or after the no-hitter? Because I'm starting to wonder if you get some credit for this.
No, I don't. I don't get any credit, I don't believe. I think that was after.
Do you have anything we could send to the Hall of Fame?
Edward, what do you think?
Anything?
Was this before or after the Gage Wood no-hitter? The score sheet Bart had from the Game 1 win over Oregon State. He came in and said that's the problem.
No, I think
had
it was after the loss to LSU.
It was.
Sure.
Yes.
I'm pretty
That
sure.
really
I'll
doesn't
confirm.
contribute to the story. I
confirm.
mean,
I don't get any. I don't think I get any credit.
If
Sorry.
y'all would just go with it, I mean, we're just fine.
come on.
Yeah, guys, it was.
Hey.
Yeah, huh?
Well, I mean, wow, nobody else is concerned with getting anything else right in the first 5 minutes of the show, but today, today's the day that we're gonna try to hit 1,000 today.
Well,
But anyhow, that's quite the moment. to
Well,
have
it
his
is.
Shoes in Cooperstown.
yeah.
I was gonna make a Pete Rose reference. I decided not to.
Well,
Rest in peace.
yeah. You can't speak. You can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you could make a comment about,
Well, how about this? How about Gage Wood has now achieved something that Barry Bonds and Mark McGuire haven't?
Yeah. Roger Clemens is not.
Roger Clemens isn't in there.
Yeah, no. But Gage Wood is.
Yeah, he is. He did it.
Well,
Yeah,
good for him.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I just thought when I read that, I thought, how cool would that be to be, his age and have your cleats at the Baseball Hall of Fame? And I don't know if there's a ceremony or anything like that, but still pretty cool.
As you get older, Chuck, you've told me things like this, and I've noticed it to be true. You start being more sentimental. Things that
I
Bart's-
cry.
now that-
I cry. Yes.
You do. Yeah.
No.
Bart has. Bart's always been sentimental. Like he marks moments all the time. He's a.
I know.
He's a young man trapped in an old man's body.
He's a historian.
Or
He was
where
born
we
30.
an old man.
Bart was born 30.
Where are we going with
I
this?
mean, he just was.
Yeah,
I don't love
that's right.
this so much.
He's an old man trapped in a young man's body. He's got an old soul, and everything. Bart, like he lives in the moment, but not all of us do. But these are like these moments, like the NBA draft. You think, oh, there's a guy getting his picture taken, and he got drafted. Congratulations! But it's a moment. It's a special moment, and they're taking it in the wrong hat. And you're like, what are we doing?
I did notice that.
What are we doing? They do
Yeah.
these trades, and they know the trade's already occurred. Like Luka, if you go back a few years ago, is in a Houston Rockets hat, but he's going to play for the Mavs. But the picture of him on stage at the NBA draft is in the wrong hat.
forever.
He was thinner then, too.
Forever immortalized.
Yeah, he was.
He was. But I was just thinking, like, when you have these moments, right now it's the news and it's what's happening today.
Right.
But in 20 years, you look back and you're like, wow, that was a moment. Like for me, I was in a group text. We had Ronnie on the show yesterday, and I was at the draft when Ronnie went 14th to the Jazz, and we were filming behind the scenes and just kind of marking the moment. And I got a Jazz hat out of the gift shop there at Madison Square Garden, and I had him sign it to my 3 sons, which Ty was 2 months old. And last night I got it out of this box. It's dusty, and it's got Ty's name on it. It's got Ronnie's signature. It's 20 years ago.
Yeah. It flies.
Like Ty was 2 months old. He's 19 now. It was 19 years ago. But I was like, yeah, where did 20 years go?
It
Where
happens.
Where did 2 decades
It
go?
happens.
You
but
know,
that
and
is pretty cool when
Yeah.
you keep things like that. I am the worst
Right,
at that.
because you don't really think about it. Like it's not
No,
like you have it sitting
no.
around on a shelf and you're looking at it all the time. But then you go back, or you just go. Some people will just at the end of every year or every couple of years, will just scroll through the photos on their phone,
Yeah. I do that sometimes.
and you'll just be like, "Wow,
Yeah.
life has been pretty good to me." And then you'll go through a sad stretch there where you lost somebody or whatever, and you're
Ooh,
on
that
an
don't look so
airplane,
good, yeah.
you're on an airplane, or you start, tears start coming out, and like, what is wrong with this guy next to me?
Yeah, that's right.
But it's life giving. It is to go back and
Well, it is.
soak it in a little bit.
I am the worst at not keeping things. I am the worst about saying, well, all it's going to do is take up space. Go ahead and throw it out. I do that. I'm
No,
terrible
yeah,
about
well,
that.
yeah, 'cause,
it's just going to end up in a box.
You can't keep everything.
That's right. And then all of a sudden I released it. For me, I look up and it's like, I should have kept some things along the way. But
Boy, this took a real turn.
yeah, it really did.
We started with
Yeah.
we started with Gage Woods
I know.
cleats going into the Hall of
know.
Fame, and we
I
ended
know.
in an Oprah segment.
Well, we did.
I mean,
as a
but
matter
that's
of
what
fact.
you get here on the
That-
Chuck
that-
and Bo Show.
That's right.
We can go wherever you want to go.
That's right.
Touching the lives.
Yeah.
The hearts of our Kansans.
That's right.
We should, like, year 2 of the show,
We're approaching that.
I know
It's hard to believe.
Can we change? Can we at least add or maybe change from the show of record for Razorback fans to touching the hearts of Arkansans? I mean, we have
piercing the hearts.
We got into this for sports,
Gut punch.
and we stayed for life.
That's right.
We didn't say that the heart touching was going to be in a good way. It might be devastating.
Do you think Cal's okay this morning?
I think he's
I think
doing
he's
just
all
fine.
right.
He's all
I
right.
think they're all okay. I think Adu Thero's going to be okay.
Think he'll be
too.
all right?
Yeah.
He didn't get drafted in the
No,
first
he did
round.
not get drafted in the first round.
But he won't be around long tonight.
No, I would imagine he'll go very quickly
Yeah.
in the second round. I mean, first 3 or 4 picks.
They
maybe.
had him up there, top 3 or 4 left,
Yeah.
at the end of the draft. But Cal, first time in 17 or 18 years, because he had 17 years in a row that he had a first-round draft pick. I mean, Cal's a fixture in that green room.
yeah.
I bet people thought they were lost
Yeah.
last night.
He'll be
Some of
back
them
next year.
wondered where he was.
He'll be back next year.
Won't he ever?
Yeah.
And listen, if there's ever been an indication of this is the least talented roster he's ever going to have at Arkansas, and they went to the Sweet 16 and should have gone to the Elite 8, that's the indicator. Mm-hmm. I mean, 17 straight years, first-round draft pick. I mean, they were talented, and sometimes it works out like this for a variety of reasons. Like if Boogie didn't get hurt, maybe he still gets picked last night.
Yeah.
But from now on, you're going to be wondering how many guys. I think from now on, you're going to be wondering how many guys he's going to have. In the first round.
I don't think there's any question about that. I mean, to me, one thing I thought about was, I'm not saying that you have to have a first-round draft pick on your team to be good, but this team made it to the Sweet 16 and, knocking on the door of going further without a first-round draft pick. So they did a good job this year, and Adu has come on over the last 2 or 3 years like very few in the college game have, and he'll be fine, and Cal will be front and center next year.
Can I take another turn here? Just another twist.
Sure.
Please. I wish you would.
What would you, the Arkansas fan, have been saying if Cal had gotten the Knicks job or taken the Knicks job, whether they offered it or he wanted it or whatever? Let's just say 3 weeks ago, Cal went to the Knicks. What would you be saying? We can't have nice things. Now,
Words that cannot be repeated
That might
on
be the kindest
on
thing.
air.
That might be the
would this be
kindest thing.
Petrino-esque? Like when you felt like the carpet the rug got yanked out from underneath you?
Yeah,
It would be
21 and-
similar.
21
It
and
would be
5 and a
similar.
2-year run.
Yeah, it would be similar.
So now I want you to go back. I want one more question.
All right.
I want you to go back to when they were 0-5 in conference play. And I want you to think about where you were then.
yeah.
So in the moment, we're all prisoners of the moment. But I had that thought last night, because you're seeing this stuff about him not, having a first round picks in 17, after 17 straight. And I'm like, man, how fortunate are Razorback fans to have this Hall of Fame coach? And we're talking about every year, how many first round picks is he going to have? And they just went to the Sweet 16. And it's an indicator, too, of, where things went at Kentucky. I know we've been down this road, but now with a year under your belt, it's an indicator of how underappreciated you can be in a situation and how things can completely change in another situation. New life for him, new energy for him. And we all want to be appreciated. But when you get appreciated and you feel respected, and that there's got to be another word, but I'll keep saying appreciated. But when people are like, man, that's awesome for us that we have this. I mean, it just gives you added motivation, in any profession for what you're doing. And right now, we were talking about the Cal marriage and not knowing if you were in yet, like for the first year. You're like, I used to hate Cal. Now he's my guy. Do I love him? Like, I think everybody's happy with the marriage now. I think we've gotten to the point where it's like, hey, we're a year in. Let's go.
I think so. I mean, people have gotten over all as you said, what's this guy doing as our head coach? I mean, there was some sticker shock there. I mean, there just was. And I think people are moving past that. I think maybe he's moving past that too. I mean, look, I don't care who you are, how good you are at what you do, when you've been somewhere 15 years and you go to a different place, it's a big deal. And particularly when you're kind of set in your ways. It's not like he's 35 and still climbing, I mean, he's way past that. So I think everybody's got their feet underneath him now.
You think we should get him an anniversary gift? I think we should go to Blakeman's.
Get him a purple bag?
Yeah. Get him something in a purple bag and just be like, hey, Cal, we got something in a purple bag.
He might already have it. I mean, who knows?
Compliments of the Chuck and Bo Show.
There we go.
I'm not saying we got you anything you don't already have. How about an earring?
A brooch. It's a nice brooch.
Blakeman's is where you mark the moment. And, we don't all get drafted or have our cleats go in the Hall of Fame. But if you've got a moment in life you want to celebrate, an anniversary, graduation, Mother's Day, Father's Day, a promotion at your job, maybe you started a business, whatever it is, it's about your story at Blakeman's. It's way more than the experience, which is awesome. And it's an incredible facility and retail store to walk into. But it's really about this journey and the story that you can mark with Blakeman's, and they'll help you do it. The official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorbacks. More than jewelry, it's your story. Well, it's 6:17 already. What are we going to do? What are we going to do next? That's all I had for today.
We'll figure it out.
Bart's got some gripe about the movies. We're going to probably get into some of your exploits, your athletic achievements and Hall of Fames.
Bart still got the scorebook. The most impressive thing about Gage Wood's no-hitter, let me throw this in before we get a break, was Bart reminded us of his pitching line of the was it one inning of work?
One inning.
One inning of
one
work.
Lifetime inning.
You knew
of
your
work.
exact line. Yeah. You knew. I mean, you took us pitch by pitch. We had pitch sequence.
Well,
it's been 30 years. We had pitch
When
sequence.
something only happens one time, you remember it.
It was a hell of a thing to read in a group text message.
It really was.
It was really something.
I hate you guys.
You can tell I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Hey, you can beat inflation and upgrade your ride at Chevy of Fayetteville. Right now, drive home a brand new Chevy Silverado, Blazer, Equinox EV, or the Tough 2500 with rates as low as 1.9% APR. Plus, take advantage of huge discounts and get top dollar for your trade-in. Go see Chris, Mark, and Denver at Chevy of Fayetteville, where the deals are big and the road ahead is even better. Chevy of Fayetteville. Let's drive. Why deal with the stress of commercial travel when you can fly on your schedule with Jet Aircraft? No TSA lines, no baggage claim, no waiting around. Just you and your crew flying in comfort and style. Whether it's a weekend getaway, a golf trip, or planning your football travel for the fall, Jet makes it easy. Seats up to 9 with a full bar, custom catering, and plenty of space. Visit Jet NWA for pricing and more. That's Jet with 2 T's. It's going to be a tough slog from now till the end of time.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
we're going to have to get used to the fact that the country's going to watch Arkansas play, and they're going to talk about Arkansas when the game's over. Eyeballs are going to be watching. Have you seen the numbers? Have you seen the numbers? They've been astronomical numbers.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Have you seen the numbers?
Have you seen them?
For the Chuck and
They're
Bo Show?
astronomical.
Yeah.
They're astronomical.
Just look
Yeah,
at
I was thinking when you were talking about, them making a point last night about Cal not having a first-round draft pick for the first time in 17 years. When you're not there and they're still talking about you, you're a star. That's just the truth. And his absence was noticeable.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's been a fixture in the green room. A lot of tears in the green room last night. Mm-hmm. A lot of people. They called it one of the most emotional. The Jay Billis and others, so they don't remember seeing a draft this emotional. And I didn't really have any sort of like emotion about the first round. But when I saw that, I just started crying.
Did you tear up?
I just started crying.
Yeah.
And just and it felt good.
Just let it go.
Yeah, it felt like I was part of their story.
Yeah. Then you started reflecting on your own life.
I remember watching him on a Tuesday night at Duke.
Yeah.
In February.
Yeah. I cried.
I remember I saw him play one game.
Hey, some people do that.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people, but people do that.
If somebody come, like if Bart came in here right now and he goes, "Man, guys, I am sick. I am not feeling well." Do you immediately start feeling for about 30 seconds like maybe you are too?
No.
That happens to me sometimes.
Does it really?
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, you're too into your feels.
Yeah.
You're way too into your feels, man.
I'm like, wait.
I mean,
that's weird. I don't feel great all of a sudden.
When Bart comes in and says, "I'm sick," I'm just thinking, well, one man down. Here we go. Next guy up. Somebody step up.
Chuck,
drag him out of here. Let's
very
go.
compassionate.
Chuck looks at all adversity as an opportunity to grow.
That's right.
He's like, here we go. One man down. I'm not feeling it today, but I'm feeling better now. This is an opportunity. What, Edward, you're leaving too? Want me to run the board? Want me to get over there and push some buttons and host the show? I can do it. By the way, Jackson is back from a week of illness and a week of vacation and I don't know, whatever else.
They often go hand in hand.
And, I feel like I haven't seen Jackson the intern in a month, which I don't think I have. And he hasn't said 3 words since we've seen him. Prior to that, he would never stop talking.
He's scared of Edward.
What happened?
Edward put the fear of God in him.
We
you
had
can tell.
We had him talking to the hog pen camp out. He was doing it. He was taking over the show. He became a social media sensation overnight. And he got back from vacation. Are you okay?
Did you get your heart broken on vacation?
No, nothing like that.
Did you have one of those vacation loves that had to end on
What if
Saturday?
that were true and you just hit him with that? Oh, gosh, dang.
I will say my time to get here did get reduced. I'm now able to get here at 5:30. It's a good now.
Yeah.
We're doing better actually.
You're doing better from like what?
That 4:30 hard timeline to get here is now 5:30. So I'm getting
Edward already relaxing the rules on you?
Yeah,
wow.
Dude, this is going the wrong way. You're
not
supposed to come in at
supposed to
5:30.
scare him out of
He's
the business.
supposed to be here at
He
4:30.
threatened to quit.
Jeez.
I do think we should send him out today.
These kids have all their demands now.
Yeah, that's us.
Edward tried to be old school, lay down the law on him, and Jackson was like, "I don't think you know how things work now."
That's true.
I don't think you understand the way the world works now. I hear that a lot.
Yeah. Do you? Yeah.
I do hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I could see that. It's nice that somebody can speak that plainly to you.
Oh,
it's
it
not
is.
coded.
It is.
It's or are you deciphering the code when you say that?
No, I'm. That was pretty much word for word.
Jackson? What are you doing over there? Are you studying for a test, or are you looking up something for Edward? Are you buying another pair of OnClouds? What are you doing on your laptop?
I'm always on Twitter. I'm always on Twitter seeing what's new, what can I find.
So what is new?
Absolutely
what have you got?
Nothing is new at 6:27 in the morning.
Yeah.
Sadly. I'm waiting for something to get posted. I'm waiting for something to happen.
I do the same thing in preparation for the show, but I've muted so many people on Twitter now. I don't have anything to get pissed
There's
off
no
about.
one to talk back to.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything. What an idiot.
That's the heart of the show is talking back to people.
I know. I just like, I can't even find anything worth talking about.
Well,
I mean, not that stuff was, but, it got your juices flowing a little bit.
Well, it did.
Oh, that's the dumbest
I'm
thing
just
I've ever
glad
heard.
Jackson's back because now we can, if Edward will lay off of him, we can maybe have a little fun for
well,
the
I was
summer's
just looking
over.
for some, increased productivity.
Well,
but
it's a reasonable expectation.
got an energy drink over there by his backpack.
No, kids are different now, man.
But by the way, when we come back, we'll save this. He's got Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room news. Softball
Really?
news. Big softball news.
I saw that.
Yeah.
But I can't tell it the way Bart will.
No.
So, so I'm
You
not
sure
even going to
can't.
try.
You sure can't. We'll do that when we come back. We'll go over there to. Hey, you okay, Bart?
I'm great.
What are you looking at?
I'm great.
Everybody's on their phone in here today. Laptop, phone.
Eyes on
Is
me.
everyone searching for what to talk about next?
Phones down, eyes up. Here we go.
Chad Morris.
Chad Morris. Phones down, eyes up.
You just lost us all, Chuck. You just lost us all.
Hey, sit up. Your feet on the flat on the floor.
That's right.
I was looking. There was a round
Giddy
two.
up.
There was a round 2 mock draft that I was trying to pull up to see where they had a dude.
Where do they
everybody
have
sitting
it,
up. Everybody feet on the floor.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
There we
recall
go.
right there.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Everybody feet on the floor.
Yeah. Left lane hammer down. Good morning. You guys are part of my family. Everyone that listens to this show is just part of the Chuck and Bo family. We're building a community here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, guys, you hear us talk about the Sweat and 'em Edge on the Chuck and Bo Show. You've got your summer lineup set, but what about your skincare? Sun, sweat, and all that time outside takes a toll. Hit up the spa at Sweat and 'em Cosmetic Surgery for a facial or sun damage repair. It's not just for the ladies, guys. Call 479-966-4174. Again, that's 479-966-4174 and get your skin in the game.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
You want to talk about washed? You're being brainwashed by idiots. You're following idiots.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I mean, Chuck doesn't give himself enough credit. He knows how to work all the apps.
Really, I don't.
I'll be honest. Like, it's not a technically a challenge situation. It's laziness. That's all of us. That's all of us. We can all figure it out.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We were talking yesterday in a break about how we've made Bart so valuable off being able to do things like, hey, man, can you print this out?
Yeah. I'm working on like 3 straight days.
He's like, what's it like working with Chuck and Bo? I'm the most valuable guy there.
No.
Well, what do you do?
They
Well,
can't work the printer.
Sometimes I just remind him, where his charger is.
Got to make sure I've got a iPad charger
what's the
for
hard
Chuck
stuff?
every day.
What's the hard stuff you do? Well, Chuck will come in occasionally and be like, hey, man, Bart, I need you to print something out for me. Can you come in here and get in my computer and
That's
print
right.
it out?
I'm going to email this to you.
Bart's like, yeah, what if we actually connected the printer to your computer? You can do that?
Well, it wasn't quite like that now, but it wasn't far.
Speaking of Bart, when Gage Wood threw his no-hitter, we asked Bart if he had ever thrown one.
We had a little group text going.
Every year during the dunk contest, we text Bart about his one dunk in life.
Yeah,
he had a
There we go.
Career dunk. It was
Throwdown.
once a lifetime dunk.
It was a throwdown.
I dunked once, and so now anytime there's a no-no, we're gonna be like, Bart, tell us about your pitching line.
Tell us a story.
Tell us.
I pitched 1 inning in my entire life. 1 inning.
Yeah. What was the stat?
Yeah.
line?
What was the line? What
Well,
was the line?
I gave up 0 runs. I gave
Yeah?
up 0 runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
What was working for you that day? I mean, I know you
Well,
were 12.
I was throwing some junk.
I mean, I know you were 12, and it's been a while, but it sounds like you got pretty good recall.
I was throwing some junk. The one thing I will never forget about it is the very first pitch I threw. The kid hit the ball like the farthest I've ever seen a baseball hit at that age, and fortunately it was foul.
It's just a long strike.
It was
just
it
a
was
long strike.
But that ball was hit forever,
Yeah.
and that left an indelible
So he
mark
was,
on me.
What I'm hearing is he was thinking fastball and you threw changeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was way out ahead of it. It worked perfectly.
Do you keep the scorebooks from your little league?
I do
baseball?
not.
So you had a scoreless inning and never pitched again?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't I wasn't a pitcher. It was an emergency situation. I was first baseman.
Oh,
what was the emergency situation?
Well, our only couple of pitchers were very bad that day.
Yeah.
And so,
But once they saw, like
I'm not a
once
pitcher.
upper management saw that you come in and have this
I'm not a pitcher.
scoreless inning.
Did you know it was going to be the only day? Did you say to yourself, this is probably the only day I'm going to get to pitch?
Did you scoop some dirt into a Gatorade cup? When you walked off the mound.
No, I did not do that.
That's so
Do you still have the dirt?
I don't.
How old were you?
that is so
I think
funny.
I was like 12 years old.
12
or
years
something.
old.
You go over to
I quit baseball after that year.
Oh, my God.
Oh man! If we should all go over to
I
Bart's
focused on basketball.
one afternoon and let him just walk us through the museum of his career.
Oh, boy.
This is the rim I dunked on. I don't have any pictures, but I brought the rim with me. I went up and took it down. One night I got a ladder and a socket set. I went up and took that thing down.
All right.
Here's the rim I dunked on.
Okay.
The museum.
Yeah, here's the dirt from the no-hitter I threw for 1 inning.
Okay.
The scoreless inning.
Oh.
How many hits? Were there any hits in the inning?
No.
You battle through it. You battle through that long strike.
Was this one of those deals where everybody bats and you were at 11 through 14 in the lineup?
Everything scored a hit, regardless of whether it's, an error
You're like
or not.
11th, 12th, and 13th batters in the lineup. There were 14 guys batting on that team that day.
Everybody gets
They
to
brought
bat.
Bart into face, the near bottom of the lineup.
There was a fight at the bat.
Oh, my gosh. What are we doing in here? Chevy of Fayetteville
I
situation.
ain't printing anything off for anybody today.
Tell us about the softball news. You're the only one that can deliver it with the just
From
kind of
the
way
heart.
we need
From
to hear
the
it.
heart.
Yeah.
From the heart.
Yeah.
So the Arkansas softball team added a 2-time All-American yesterday.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, Dakota Kennedy, 2-time All-American, 2024 Gold Glove winner, an outfielder from Arizona. listed as the number 2 player available in the transfer portal last year. Started all 44 games, had a team high 444 batting average, a lot of fours, and a perfect fielding percentage. So a very valuable addition to the Razorback softball team. I have to imagine she will slot right in. They needed another outfielder after Reagan Kramer graduated, and so this fills that need really well.
Good for them.
They also had an infielder they added already, right?
Tiana Bell. She'll be the new face at first base.
Okay.
Okay. So they're reloading.
That's
they're getting good players. They're
in that point of the program now where they reload.
Okay.
With more talent.
Hey, good time to jump on the softball bandwagon if you just joined it this year.
That's right. Bart's the leader.
Well, I don't know that I would go that far.
Eddie,
you've introduced us to it, or you've introduced me to it. I feel like I know it much better now because of you.
I got completely lost. I just want to apologize. I had too much fun with Bart. Eddie from Clarksville is here.
Eddie's rallying.
Eddie's rallying.
Eddie's rallying. He's back.
Wherever he was. Eddie, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, Eddie.
Thanks for taking my call. You know, I've had to take a little while to catch my breath. Look at ups and downs at the College World Series this year. It was like a roller coaster. A roller coaster high, and then we ended with a roller coaster low. You know what I mean? But one thing I found about over the decades being a passionate Hall fan, when one season ends, another soon begins. All that matters is a ride, and certainly a Hall train takes us on a ride year in and year out. My good friend, I'd like to share this with you. My good friend Phil Elson, we text back and forth quite often. I've never had the pleasure to meet the man. Like I've met Chuck several times, but we text. He's a music man, and he said this. Maybe it is I texted him. I thought his view on what transpired in the ninth inning, and he said I thought maybe it is a curse. And that's what it's been referred to as Arkansas curse. What are the chances? Look at the sequence of events that transpired in that. I watched the game over and over and over.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
I'm in my living room, and I'm telling you what, even my baskets was calling the Hogs. And then,
great.
It was soon short-lived. I look at Coach Johnson of LSU. I don't know why baseball God shines on some teams and others not so much. You have to be lucky, no doubt about that. But if you look at the ninth inning, it has not been kind to our program, and I don't have those answers. But it's about making a play, I guess, when it matters most. But look at Coach Johnson. He's been complimentary of our program. But it's his second in 3 years. The 8th national championship for LSU, and we knocked at the door a couple of times and just haven't been able to push through that door. But listen to what Phil Elson told me. He doesn't believe in curses. He said John Lennon wrote a song called Karma. He calls it cosmic karma. So crank it up, baby. Let me say this. It's just, what do you think, gentlemen? You know what I mean? I know we got football coming soon. You know what I mean? So maybe that'll uplift our fans. Fans get invested as much as the players do. No doubt about that. We got one of the most passionate fan bases. I'm just glad to be aboard the Hall train. I'm glad to be a Hall fan, one of the most passionate in the country. I'm going to get aboard. I caught my breath, and maybe, you know what I mean, before long, Coach Van Horn is going to push through that door. Blow the whistle. Stay aboard the Hawk train. Thank you, gentlemen.
Eddie.
Wow. Eddie's just,
What matters is the ride. That's what
journey.
he said early on.
That's right.
I wrote that down.
Yeah, well, we've tried to talk about that. you know? And
Eddie's
you
like
look
a
back,
preacher. You know, a
it's
good
great run.
preacher, when you're in church on Sunday, makes a good point. You write it down.
That's right.
On the bulletin.
That's right.
When Eddie, when he hits that stride, man, I get my pen out and I start writing stuff down.
He was very even keel. He started going there for a second.
He was sitting in his living room. That's.
Can you imagine watching that game over and over and over again?
No, I can't. Let me ask this. People say the curse and all this stuff. And look, I mean, we've all thought about what are we being cursed for? I mean, nobody's done anything wrong. I mean, lots of times you hear, well, somebody's cursed. You know, team's cursed. Cubs are cursed. You know, that's what they said all those years because of that Billy Goat story and all that. What are we being cursed for? I mean, we've been knocking at the door.
That's a good question.
Most of those years, just to be honest about it, most of those years Arkansas did not win in Omaha. They were not the best team. That's why they didn't win. The idea that you get to Omaha and everybody's got an equal chance, that's just for TV. That's not real life. Everybody does not have the same chance. There are teams there that are better than others. And with only two exceptions in my mind, those are the only two times you could argue Arkansas was the best team up there. So I don't feel like they were cursed in those other years. I feel like it played out as it should have. The better teams won. Now, there have been two appearances that it's like, wow, I mean, this is as bad as it gets. But I don't know that two appearances constitute a curse.
That's I don't have a good answer for you. I think you're making a good point.
I mean, Florida State went 24 times and didn't win it. I don't know the history of all their games. I have no idea, but I guarantee you most of those 24 times they were not the best team up there, and that's why they didn't win. Didn't have anything to do with the curse.
I felt like in 2018, Oregon State was the better team, like going into the series. Now, I didn't think Arkansas was necessarily going to lose, but I remember thinking when Arkansas got up in that second game that they were going to get like kind of escape with a national championship. Not they were getting what was rightfully theirs. Like, to your point, like
no, I understand what you're saying.
They had, I think, more draft picks on that team, if I'm remembering correctly. I know Arkansas was really, really good, but I don't know that they had the depth that like this year's team had, for example. But I think we feel that way because Arkansas baseball is there it seems like they're there every year, top 10.
That's right.
You know, are they going to do it this year? Yeah, I don't know. It's a great question. What are we cursed for?
I mean, seriously, everyone talks about, the curse continues. That's the first thing out of Carl Ravage's mouth. Oh, the curse of and I'm like, well,
he doesn't even know what he's talking about.
No.
He's just saying what he's heard.
Right. I mean, he's just repeating the narrative. But it's like, what are you talking about?
He's talking about the SEC being 500 against itself.
Okay. Maybe so. Maybe so.
Jeez, man. I still can't believe that happened.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Somebody made a graphic out of it. All right, we got to hit a break. 877-377-6963. We'll come back, get some of your thoughts in a minute.
I don't need Chat GTP. I've got Chuck GTP.
Amen.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, summer's heating up, and Splash Car Wash is keeping your ride looking fresh with a special deal just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one Best Wash and get 2 free. One for you, one for your spouse, one for a friend, or just keep them all. It's an easy way to stay clean, cool, and cruising all summer long. That's 3 top-tier washes for just $27. Text Splash Car Wash to 22322 to access this exclusive online-only offer.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more. They carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Does the show feel like it's always a friendly environment? I was going to say, just
I
like
guess
the
it
Chuck.
depends on which
It's
side of the fence you're
It's
on.
friendly. Sometimes you get yelled at, but I mean, it's still friendly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You need to run that tape back for me, because that didn't happen. Don't come at me with that crap.
Don't come at me.
Yeah.
Not up in here.
Yeah. You must have your shows mixed up. That didn't happen here, pal.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Brent is on the line in Searcy. Brent, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Good morning, Chuck and Bo. How are you guys doing today?
Oh.
Better now.
Yeah. Great.
Hey,
super.
Today is going to be the best day I've ever had in a long, long time.
Wow, that's a good day.
Man, I'm getting that new van.
That's
Going
what
to pick
I-
up that new van today.
Okay. Well, why is it going to be so good, Brent?
He's getting a new van. Yeah. Are you going to have curtains in that thing?
You're going to have curtains? Yeah.
No. I'll have a van that everything works on it properly. That's the greatest thing.
Well, good.
There we go.
That's good.
That is good. Good
And-
for you, man.
and
Don't be
knock on-
driving too
knock on-
fast either
knock-
now.
Nope, not going to smoke in it or nothing.
Oh, that's a lie. That's a lie.
No McDonald's?
That'll last
None
for
of
a
that.
couple of weeks.
Yeah.
No, I told my sister I've already been practicing with those pouches you put between your cheek and gum, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've been practicing with them.
There you
Well,
I said when I leave Thursday to come to when I leave Thursday to come to Fayetteville, I'll go to the I'll make it all the way to Russellville and stop at the Pilot and smoke too, and hop back in the van.
well, you got that rest area there too.
No, I believe I can make it to Russellville.
All right.
But,
Well, you can make it to
I'll
Russellville.
be by there to show it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'll be there to show it to y'all one day next week after when y'all get off the air.
Sweet.
You'll see the fire engine red.
Fire engine, baby.
I can't wait.
Thank you, Brent. Have a great
It's a
day.
little bit.
We got to hit
All
a
right,
break.
y'all
man.
have a great day.
You
See
too,
you,
buddy.
Bye.
You too. That's the first time I've ever heard of anybody practicing with Zen belches. Practicing. Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call.
As a play-by-play announcer, my eyes are everything. I need to see every detail on the field to call the game the right way. So when cataract started affecting my vision, I knew I couldn't wait. I went to Dr. Betts and the team at McDonald Eye Associates. And truthfully, I wish I'd done it years ago. The difference is incredible. The whole experience was professional, easy, and honestly life-changing. If your vision's holding you back, take it from me. Don't put it off any longer. Schedule your appointment with McDonald Eye Associates today.
Hey, it's Bo. And for me, business comes down to working with people I like and can count on. And that's Teamwork Roofing and Construction. They do what they say, they're on time, and when they're done, it's like they were never there and you have a brand new roof. Built with expert craftsmanship and the best materials. When it comes to commercial or residential roofing, get the customer care Teamwork Roofing and Construction offers. Check them out on their Facebook page, Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality, powered by teamwork.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Thank y'all for your show. It's a great format in the morning. It's really nice to have knowledgeable people to wake up to and listen to. So thank y'all.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
What are you going to do today, Chuck? Oh, I'm going to go sit in one of those chairs at the mall and relax.
I had that done one time, and I swear I had no skin on my neck, the back. I mean, it was horrible. It's the worst experience of my life.
What's that?
You know, when you go in the mall and you get in that chair and they rub you down, you know, and they give you this was like years ago. This was years ago.
I was talking about the actual massage chair, like the electronic one.
No, I don't do that. Maybe I go to a different mall than you.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to
The show of record for Razorback fans.
Driving my son to school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo Show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Everybody's going, how many moles are there?
Well,
where are they?
You know, sometimes Edward plays these things back, and it's like, what was I thinking? I mean, what was I doing? I mean,
let's be honest.
This was just yesterday.
I know when it was. I know when it was.
I do the same thing. Part of what makes the show is that half the time we do it in sort of a haze.
I mean, it's like, what was I thinking? I mean, how did that come out of my mouth?
It's as if we get in here and it's so early. It's like, oh, what the hell?
I blame it on delirium.
You say stuff.
Lack of sleep.
And then the next day, it's like, wow, did I said that?
I know. Yeah. Happens to you too, huh?
Every day. Just about every day. It's June 26th, by the way, if anybody was wondering. Here's Bart walks back into the studio.
Just whenever it's convenient.
Just no urgency, but a fresh cup of coffee. And
that was
Chuck
that was the priority.
Want to throw a couple things out here. Chuck just received from me his first liquid IV.
Man, how about that?
Yeah. He hasn't tried it yet,
Big
but
moment.
he didn't. It's his
Huge.
first time laying eyes on it. And he goes, "So, what do you just like mix this with water?" And we're like, I mean, if you're on vacation by the pool, maybe throw that in your vodka lemonade.
Yeah. Well, it looks good.
But it's National Bomb Pop Day, and Chuck's like, we had to be reminded what a bomb pop was. And
I've just
this
heard
is
it by a
bomb
different
pop
name.
flavor.
I've just heard it by a different name.
What'd you call it? The red,
I
white,
was thinking,
blue popsicle?
Yeah, something like, I forget, but it wasn't bomb pop.
Yeah.
But thank you. For this.
No,
this is
that's
great.
not my favorite flavor, so you can have it.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
But there is nothing like a good bomb pop.
Huh? Electrolytes, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in there. It is. Yeah.
What a
It'll work
morning
for you. Yeah.
What a morning.
Hey, if you're working on the Teamwork Roofing crew and it's hot outside, they know what a liquid IV is. I guarantee. Pascal, when they're up in the attic and it's hot, you're sweating like crazy.
So how'd you come to discover it?
Well, I think it was I don't know, it was a not so good time in life.
Yeah.
Maybe a 4-day bender in Miami.
You needed to bounce back. You needed a quick bounce back.
Had to rally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
4 days can. I mean, it'll get away from you.
That was a very probing question.
I mean, I didn't mean to like get a nerve there. I didn't realize.
No.
I thought it was just going to be some,
I'm kidding.
regular story.
I'm kidding. It's like if you go on these vacations where you're outside a lot, and you're around a pool, or you're just hanging out, and you gotta sustain the day. So you can get some Gatorade, you can get some liquid, but they're easy to take with you because you can put them in packets, or they're in packets, and you can put it like in your backpack. You don't have to carry bottles of Gatorade around with you, and you just get a water and throw it in there.
So, like, lots of times I'll carry these little packets. It's not exactly,
Splenda and Equal?
It's not this stuff. No, it's like, your Crystal Lights. You throw your Crystal Light in
I love
there.
Crystal Light.
Well, so how is this better than that?
It's got other nutrients or whatever in it, like electrolytes.
Well, it sounds a lot healthier the way you explain it.
Well, it passes.
I mean,
read the dang ingredients on the back.
I'm just wondering what the difference in this is and what I already do.
Well, that's the difference between Gatorade and Crystal Light. You understand that?
According to this, the Liquid IV website, it has 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink.
Well, what is the leading sports drink?
I'd
Is it
assume
Gatorade?
I would have to imagine.
So it's got triple the electrolytes of Gatorade. That's a lot of electrolytes.
Yeah. Now, when you're sitting around, it's hot out, and somebody's drinking it, you've just mowed the lawn, which I know you do. Dead crickets. when someone's having a Gatorade, you can look at them and say, I'm having 3 times that right now.
I just typically go for like a flight by Yingling after mowing.
Hey, now that's
Well, you don't want to be overcome by electrolytes. I mean, that can. I mean, you just don't want that.
You don't want to be overcome by electrolytes. What the hell does that mean?
Oh my gosh. Sterling is in Center Ridge. Sterling, good morning.
Hey, Sterling.
Y'all had a great.
Holy
Y'all had a great infomercial about Liquid IV.
Yeah, it's free. That was free.
Makes you want it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, very informative.
Yeah.
You know, most of the people I hang with, they had the Liquid IV for exactly why Bo has it, for benders.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well, I mean, let's be real here.
It was 3 days of a hazy memory. It's like a Jimmy Buffett. It's got to be on a Jimmy Buffett song.
yeah, guys out here and listen to Eddie's call, and you know, and like Eddie, I watched that game a few times since it happened, and I thought I was really crazy. Then when I heard Eddie, I don't know if that confirmed my thoughts or not.
Just made you feel
I don't know
better.
if I think I feel better because Eddie's a wise man. So I think I feel a little better about my decision to watch that game over. I know that I'm not alone.
I have not watched it, Sterling. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Frank always, you know, has always said that Frank never watched that 69 shootout game ever. So.
And I believe that. I believe him when he says that. I believed him.
I watched that game for the first time from start to finish in probably about 25 years ago, and I lie to you not. As I was watching that game, I was wondering as it went, how did they lose this game?
Yeah. I remember the first time I watched it, start to finish. Quinn Grovey and I were sitting together, and I remember at the end of the third quarter looking at each other and like, how do we lose this game?
The curse.
Even back then.
And you know, right? And you know, you make a good point. Point of what did the University of Arkansas, what did the Hog fans do to get a so-called curse? Now I know it was talked around some circles about when Nolan was fired that the basketball was cursed until they put his name on the court, and since they put his name on the court, I think we have been to some Elite Eights and
Well, this is
16.
if there's going to be a legitimate curse, that might be, but I think we've moved past that. At least I hope we have.
Right. So I guess maybe if we put the statue of Van Horn before he went to the national championship, maybe it'll come. You put it up in advance.
Maybe that's it.
Now, that's the kind of thing people would say would create a curse, right? Like if we weren't already having this conversation. Right. If that had been done and they hadn't won, somebody would be saying, well, it's because they put that statue up too early.
Exactly.
None of this is true. Like, do we
None of
believe
this
like
has anything
any
to
of
do
this
with anything.
has anything to do? Like, do we really believe like you wore that shirt yesterday, so you better wear that shirt now?
I don't believe
But
it.
is it like,
I know some people
but
do.
do you
Like
really
softball.
believe it? Do you really believe it, or are you just kind of rolling with it because you don't want to chance it?
Yeah,
You don't want to be
rolling with
blamed.
it.
You don't want anybody to blame you.
Right. Yeah, I'm with Bo. I think you just kind of roll with it, not just in case, but just roll just because. I mean, I don't think anybody truly believes it, but I truly believe this, and I have no way of knowing this. So I truly believe that Lloyd has never did that before in his life in that situation.
Yeah,
I'll bet
I
you're
believe he'll
right.
Never do it, and I believe that he'll never do it again. And the only difference between all those times before is that he had Arkansas on his chest.
Wow.
Something to ponder.
But I hear you. But again, just to play the other side of this, he never played in the College World Series in that situation with any other name on his chest.
Well, I mean, if you buy into the curse of Omaha, I mean, there's lots of teams that weren't good enough to even sniff Omaha. I mean, were they cursed? I don't know.
I think it was the moment more than
sure
than
it
any,
was.
I mean, any sort of curse.
Sure it
but that's
was.
way
Right.
too. I mean,
Exactly.
I don't mean to make sense.
Yeah.
We're having a good time here. I apologize.
Just goofing off. And my last thing, and I can let y'all go. And And I take a sports vacation after the All-Star game, MLB All-Star game. I take about a sports vacation until practice starts, and I just read the paper about the Cardinals because I still got to keep up with my Cardinals. But I kind of relax and take a break to try to recharge like Eddie. But
what do you mean? I thought when you started down this road that you meant you went somewhere like Fenway Park every year.
That's what I
on like
thought,
some
too.
sort of sports vacation.
Yeah, I thought you meant you were
or
going
I'm
on
going
a
to the
sports
Baseball
trip.
Hall of Fame. Or, I'm going on a sports trip.
He's just going to wash his hands of
Sterling
it.
says, I invest so much into this, I have to take a break.
I got to take a month off.
After the 4th of July.
clear my
Around
mind.
the MLB All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
I got to take a break.
yeah, right. I watched the home run derby.
I was going to say, that'll take a lot out of you.
Yeah, jeez.
And then it's a break because me and Eddie, we put a lot into this. And Brett, you know the guys, you know the ones. Paul Notches, when he was at it, he's not at the games, but I still think he watches all the time and stuff. So he seems to.
He
be
knows
still
what's
up on
going
everything.
on. He keeps up.
So guys, I hope y'all enjoy y'all vacation, and guess I'll talk to y'all about.
Yeah, we'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, we'll
Sterling.
see you on the other side,
I
man.
mean, we got a whole other week coming next week, so
Yeah.
hopefully, we can have a sandwich together or something. But yeah, we see that coming. Thanks for the heads up. Jeez,
Take a break.
sounds like
I've just had enough.
yeah.
I got to take a break.
I'm out.
Yeah, that's like when we go on vacation. People are like, "From what? You don't even
Yeah,
work."
I know.
You're in
That's
sports.
right. That's right. What are we going to do all week?
What are you even talking about?
How are we going to goof off this week?
You guys need a vacation? I thought your whole life was a vacation.
sure.
You're working sports.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, we've been telling you about Teamwork Roofing. We'll take more of your thoughts coming up if you want to get in here. By the way, it's 877-377-6963. When we talk about sports, we talk about teamwork. Teamwork Roofing is here for you in every way. What I love about Teamwork Roofing is they are a team, they act like a team, and they deliver a winning result. If you're dealing with roof damage or it's time to replace the old one, whether it's commercial or residential, Teamwork Roofing and Construction is the crew to call. You can look at their work by going to their Facebook page. Homes, businesses, big commercial projects, they do it the right way. Certified crews, top materials, no shortcuts. Malarkey shingles, McElroy metal, low slope systems. They've got all the bases covered. And they communicate on the front end and then do exactly what they're going to say. And when they leave, it's like they were never there except for the quality roof you have. You'll see the kind of quality we're talking about if you go to their Facebook page. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality. Powered by Teamwork.
Chuck, you've been around a while, and look, I don't mean that ugly, and Bo, you've been around not as long as Chuck.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
All right, guys, you hear us talk about the Sweatin' 'em Edge on the Chuck and Bo Show. You've got your summer lineup set, but what about your skincare? Sun, sweat, and all that time outside takes a toll. Hit up the spa at Sweatin' 'em Cosmetic Surgery for a facial or sun damage repair. It's not just for the ladies, guys. Call 479-966-4174. Again, that's 479-966-4174 and get your skin in the game.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
That's special.
The Sphere, it's hard to describe. I know
wanna
many
go.
people
I wanna
people
go.
have gone. I
Great.
mean, the seats vibrate.
I've been places where the seat vibrates.
Yeah, well,
not,
that's not
not,
any-
not a
that's not-
concert.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You can check us out on demand at Chuck and Bo Show on Spotify or Apple in podcast version.
On demand.
It's on demand. You know, it's if you missed the show, missed something on the show, you go back and you find it there. You can listen to us anywhere on the Hit That Line Now app. People are learning about this every day, Chuck. They
know
can just
they
go
are.
to the Hit That Line Now app, download it, it's free, and you can hear us anytime between 6 and 9. And then whatever else is on ESPN Arkansas, powered by Taco Bell, all
Powered.
day, any day. Yeah. I
How's
mean,
that? Hey, how's that house working out for your son? You know, the one you guys got for Mike?
I mean,
everything good?
They've got the nursery painted.
Yeah.
The baby's coming in August. That means Bobo over here. That's my papaw name.
Papa.
We got
That's
to change
what
the
we're
name of
gonna
the
call
show.
it.
It's
We're
the
gonna
Chuck
call
and Bobo Show.
Chuck and Bobo. That's pretty good.
It's going
Sounds like a circus act.
Yeah, well, what do you think this is? Have you been paying attention?
Have you been here?
Have you read about us on Twitter?
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
Doesn't clowns
Jeez.
come up a lot?
Oh, yeah.
The notifications come right to my
You
phone.
know,
actually.
I didn't tell you, Chuck, because I told him no. But when I was in Vegas last weekend, we got offered to perform at Circus Circus. Yeah.
Okay.
They said if you deserve any residency, it'd be right here.
That's right. Well,
We're
I
like,
mean,
we'll
that's-
take it.
Yeah, that's.
But yeah, man, they love the new house, and
The house is a
it's
home
everything.
now, is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
It's a home.
All right.
They got the nursery painted.
That's what they do. Weichert Realtors, a Griffin company. They ask about it, and I've been meaning to ask you, and I'm assuming everything's going all right. Well, you know, when it's your first time out buying a home, I mean, it's a scary deal. You think you know, you don't know, then you realize that, man, I need some help. And that's where Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, comes in. I remember the first house I bought, and many of you probably do too. You do need somebody to guide you through that experience. And then, as life moves on, you're going to sell and you're going to move in all probability, and they're going to be there for you there as well. When you partner with a real estate agent that understands, that listens, that gets you to the finish line, that's who you want to partner with again. And it does turn into a lifetime relationship with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. They've been doing this since 1978. So they do have a lot of long-term relationships. They got a great selection of homes, and you can log on to WeicherGriffin.com.
Y'all sent Jackson to get breakfast.
Breakfast, yeah. Well, every intern's got to go get breakfast.
Is it me?
It's just part of the deal.
Has Jackson not been quieter? I think Chuck nailed it earlier.
He has been quieter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he had his
he's
heart.
listening in the car right now.
Yeah. I think he had
What
his
did you
heart
do?
broken on vacation.
I didn't do anything.
No, you think it was
Summer Love?
Summer Love.
Yeah.
Happened too fast.
Yeah.
He went and saw Coldplay at the Sphere, apparently.
He went to the. He saw. We have.
Whoa.
He had an extravagant vacation that he's not telling us about.
What do you think's better at the Sphere? Kenny Chesney, which I saw, or Coldplay, which Jackson saw. And I'm judging by Bart's reaction. I already know his answer.
I know what Bart's answer
I'd rather
is.
see Coldplay personally.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
Suddenly Jackson became cool to Edward and Bart. It's like, wow, he went to see Coldplay at the Sphere.
I could see
I would
that
like to
being
see Coldplay anywhere.
Well, it sounds to me like maybe that week of being sick might have been a week of recovery.
Cover story.
If he just had some of this stuff right here that Bo
That's
gave
what
me
I
a while
mean.
ago,
Yeah.
he'd have rallied and he'd have been here.
Not a
That's
sponsor.
exactly right. Power through.
If you're going to really do this,
Yeah,
I
cover
mean,
up
if
the
this
name
is
on that
working
packet.
in this business is really your goal as a young man, I mean, you got to learn to burn it at both ends. I mean, you really do.
It's like the Wolf of Wall Street
That's
stuff.
right.
Jeez. Well,
I'm talking about if you're committed. I'm talking about if you're really committed.
that's-
You're going to tell me when you were 21, 22, just breaking in, you didn't burn it at both ends?
Oh, my
Of
gosh.
course you did. And so did I. The only person I know who didn't was Bart.
It's well documented, Chuck.
And
look where I am today.
Look,
right here with you.
We all have a paper trail. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But,
I'm grateful the internet wasn't as strong then as it is now.
I'm just saying that if Jackson's really going to be, one of us, he's
One of us.
Yeah. Boy, what a lot to live up to.
Yeah,
oh
really.
my gosh.
I mean, it's a high bar. I know.
Jeez. Gentle Ben, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Yes, sir. If y'all don't mind, I'd like to change the subject.
Man, you just spoke for thousands, Ben.
What do you want to talk about, Ben? Denny's?
Well, I'll go ahead and say this. I didn't burn both ends when I was young. I was a little bit older in life when I burned both ends, but I'm glad that I learned that I couldn't live as long as I want to if I kept burning both ends, or whatever you say
You got to
that.
slow down at some
But
point.
I'll move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right
Yes,
about
sir.
all that.
Yeah. Either whether you want to slow down, you will. That's just the way it is.
That's true.
But like you said. But anyhow, I wanted to talk about yesterday's thing, a subject about why we don't do as well as hardly any other states as far as high school. Kids becoming Razorbacks because they're good enough to play in Division I and be great and all like that. Now we've had our heyday, at times with that, and but I just remember back when we'd play high school games. Maybe even our best team in the state might try to play somebody from Texas, and they would do home, and when they would come here, you'd see the buses pull up. About 2 or 3 buses from that Texas school would come in, and then you'd watch them get off the bus, and we would have about our Arkansas high school would have a head coach and maybe 2 or 3 assistant coaches, and a lot of times just 1 or 2 assistant coaches. And when you'd see the other teams start to get off the bus, first the head coach, Big Shot, would get off the bus, and then about 9 assistant coaches would get off one of the 3 buses, and then the other the rest of the 3 buses, all the players would get off, and I think, man, what's going on here? And they were bigger than us, had more money than us. I think that's one big thing about Arkansas high school football is that we just hadn't had the goods, and all that, to start with, to be able to have as many good football players in Arkansas as other, states do.
Well, look, that's the story of Arkansas, and historically, who we are as a state and what we're proud of is overcoming bigger and better and beating them. And that's why a lot of why you didn't like Texas and haven't liked Texas for so long. They were blessed with an abundance of riches, embarrassingly blessed. LSU is the same way. And that's why we can't ever understand how they cannot always be great. Arkansas has been in this position for a long time. But I do think less of our athletes, which, by the way, there are certain years and certain teams in high school football, our state can go compete with some of the best in the country. We can have a team come out of here and go compete with some of the best teams in the country. I mean, it's not all bad. But also, we don't have the same number of, potential NFL football players that you have in some other states. That's one of the things you have to overcome. It's not insurmountable, but it's one of the things you got to overcome if you're going to be a really good football program. And really good football programs, unlike any other sport, are built on the recruiting radius around your campus. NIL is going to play a role. Rev share is going to play a role. But until somebody shows me evidence of anything consistently happening other than that, that's the narrative of college football. We talked about this in the playoff, too, a little bit. You don't have Cinderellas in football. You're not going to have Cinderellas make a run through the college football playoff.
No, it's never going to happen.
And it's because football is just built completely different.
They won't even get to the championship game.
Yeah. Now, I think we all... And I know it sounds like it's just a giant circle conversation sometimes, but I think we all don't know how to have this conversation.
Well, I think that's probably fair. I mean, because emotion comes into it, and look, people just want to win. And when people have that mindset, anything that, goes against that's excuse making. There are reasons, though. Like for example, I hear people a lot say, well, if they can do it in baseball, how come they can't do it in football? You hear that a lot.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people say that.
Basketball.
You were reading some of those numbers yesterday, day before, the disparity. For example, the one that stood out to me was, Texas had 219 players drafted over a period, and we had 17.
Right.
And we went beyond that to the border states, to Tennessee and to Missouri and to Oklahoma, and they all had so many more than Arkansas did. I was looking.
Missouri had 41 in a 10-year span.
Right.
We had 17.
Right. And that's about as close as it was, honestly.
Yeah.
But in baseball, for example, I was looking at a chart here where the players that played in the College World Series were born. Just for the record, 9 players, not all of them Razorbacks, but 9 players that played in the College World Series were from Arkansas, all right? But now look at the border numbers in baseball. Mississippi, 2. We got 9. Tennessee, 8. We got 9. Missouri, 6. We got 9. Oklahoma, 5. We got 9. Texas, 11. Now, 11-9, still a win for Texas, but it's not 219 to 17.
289, actually.
289 to 17. Yeah. So you've got a chance to be competitive in different sports because of, different reasons. But I've always believed real heavily in what the bordering states are producing because those are the ones that you really need to beat. We need to beat the Mississippi schools. We need to beat Missouri. We need to beat Oklahoma. Need to feel like you got a chance to beat Texas. That's really hard to do when their state produces so many more good players. And I know that people think, well, you just go out and buy a player from some other state. Well, not if they got more money than you. I mean, not if they've got more money than you do. You don't.
Yeah, how do you separate yourself in a way that makes somebody want to leave that environment?
Yeah, and look, I know, again, people, anything that, when you're not winning, if you're not saying everybody ought to be fired, you're making excuses. I get it.
You're making excuses.
But I also think when you look at the numbers, that does tell a good bit of the story.
Somebody gave me this little nugget of wisdom yesterday, and I'll pass it along to you because I got responses on social media, text. It's simple. Just go get people from other states, NIL, transfer portal. It's simple. Simple doesn't equal easy.
Well,
like you can say it's a simple solution, but is the execution of your simplicity easy?
It's kind of like when we have.
How do you do it?
When we have a coaching search, everyone says, "Well, just pay them more than everybody else.
Yeah.
Pay them so much they have to come."
Simple.
It doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't work. That's not the answer.
I'll tell you what does work is a jet aircraft. If you're in a hurry and you want to get somewhere direct and you don't want to wait on the TSA line, you can pull your vehicle up, get in the jet. They'll valet it, detail it for you on the jet. You've got all the food and drinks you need, up to 9 people, all the luggage you can imagine. Take a golf trip. Go have an experience. Go to a just 2-day event maybe. And maybe you just travel a lot. Business requires it. You can ask about the jet card and the perks that come with those memberships. Wherever you're headed, Jet Aircraft can get you there, and they can do it in a hurry, and they can do it in style, and they can do it first class. JetNWA.com, a memory of a lifetime, or just the travel experience you've always been looking for. Jet, that's 2 T's, JetNWA.com can get you there. You guys are part of my family. Everyone that listens to this show is just part of the Chuck and Bo family. We're building a community here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Hey, if you've been thinking about a new ride, now's the time to make it happen. That's because Chevy of Fayetteville is kicking off their summer drive deals with some of the best offers you'll get all year. Trailblazers starting at $23,000, Colorados from only $30,000, the new Equinox EVs from just $30,000. No matter what you're looking for, these deals are real and they won't last long. So don't wait. Head over to Chevy of Fayetteville today. Together, let's drive.
Know what else makes you an Arkansas Razorback fan? Going to the University of Arkansas. How about playing football for the team?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
second. The payoff pitch. Muncy skies it. Pops it up beyond the infield on the right side. Estrada calling for it. The raindrops. He's not going to make it. It drops down.
One thing, but listen, what a great show! The best sports show in the state is, no doubt, the Chuck and Bo Show. No doubt about it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
So we had a couple blunders at the draft last night. And I'm not talking about guys wearing the wrong hat, which is an NBA tradition. Get drafted by a team that you're not going to play for because there's already been a trade and they still trot them out there in the wrong hat. That's a whole different deal. Here's blunder number one. This is with Cedric Coward.
This is good.
Trailblazers drafting Cedric Coward from Washington State.
Except he was drafted by the Memphis Grizzlies.
And then he was traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. And here's the moment.
So the Portland Trailblazers select Colin Coward here.
Colin Coward.
What are they great
From
radio.
Sports Talk Show, who happens to, I think he worked in Portland for a while.
Yeah,
so
he
it's
did.
kind of like a homecoming
Oh,
for
he
him.
did. Yeah, he was in Portland before he went to ESPN. Now he's at Fox.
Colin Coward here.
Wow. So that was one blunder. The other one was ESPN was coming back from a break, and they were going to flash back on the number one pick, Cooper Flagg, and they couldn't find him.
Welcome back to Sports Center. You're looking at Cooper Flagg, and in just over an hour from now, that is not Cooper Flagg at all, actually. That is quite famously Ace Bailey. There's Cooper Flagg. I was going to say no, that's not him either. That's not Cooper Flagg.
Jeez, guys, get it together.
For perspective, the camera was like on their shoes and showing the outfits.
Yeah.
And they just started at the shoes, and then when they got up, it was not Cooper Flagg.
That's funny.
Very obviously not Cooper Flagg.
That's funny.
As soon as they hit the hands, really, is when you can tell.
As the anchor doing that, you're wondering, like, how did this happen in the moment? You can't even imagine. Really?
Did you see what Colin Coward tweeted out after?
That what?
He tweeted out like an AI-generated picture of him in a Trailblazers.
Yeah, I didn't know
jersey.
he did that.
He said nothing against Memphis, but this would have been epic.
Nothing against Memphis.
Nothing against Memphis, but it's not safe.
That's not safe.
That's what Stephen A. said.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Bart's so mad about that.
Oh, he's still bitter.
Oh, he's angry.
He's still bitter.
Yeah.
I mean, look, and they sit there and they prop his clueless butt up there on NBA draft coverage. He doesn't know anything about any of these guys. Not a single thing.
Now you're talking about Stephen A?
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't know a single thing about. He doesn't watch college basketball.
Yeah, but he says it with authority.
Well, I mean,
He
whatever.
says it like he means it.
Yeah, but
Whatever.
He's got Memphis nailed.
Paul Piancardi will join us at 8:40 on the show today.
1
Talk
hour from
about the
now.
draft. An hour from now, Brandon Marcello. We'll get into the business of college athletics with him.
I want to ask him about that basketball tournament thing too.
Be at 8. Yeah.
What
the
he thinks about
expansion
that
of-
if it's going to happen.
Also, have they passed this 32 game schedule expansion? So now you can play more non-conference games if you want to.
Really?
Than you are now? Yeah.
I think it's-
saw
is
that in
it
passing.
31
Jackson's
now?
over there nodding his head. We learned during the break. We got Jackson talking
Yeah,
again.
there's a little more than meets the eye with our intern here.
Yeah.
I mean, Colorado, like
14ers. He's doing 14er hikes.
Yeah, and going
Which
to
is
concerts at stadiums.
14,000 mountains.
Yeah, I mean it's
Or
a
14,000 feet mountains, and he's going. He went to Coldplay, not at the Sphere, but at Mile High.
Oh well, okay.
Yeah.
How was it? Great. Bart was extremely
Did you
jealous.
see the Rolling Stones at Red Rocks while you were out there?
I wish that would have been a cool one. I've not actually seen a concert at Red Rocks somehow. That is like that's a dream
Somehow.
thing.
I mean,
Somehow I have
in all my life.
Yeah. Wait, 19? 20?
I am 19 years old.
19.
In all my 19
Well,
years.
I'm
In all my
62,
19
and I've
years.
never
I
seen a
can't
concert
believe
at
I
Red
haven't been
Rocks
to Red
either.
In all my 19 years, I've seen the
Unbelievably.
Dead Co,
It's,
Coldplay. I've seen a lot of country artists. I think my first concert was Luke Bryan when I was like maybe 11.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you sing along? Did you have fun?
I did. I
All
did.
right.
Well, you have lived a charmed life, my friend.
Trying my best.
If only the Dos Equis commercial guys knew they could have hired a 12-year-old.
I know, the most interesting man in the world, and
Yeah,
he's
when they
right
had to
here in our
replace that
room.
But you know what? We still got a chance with Flight by Yingling.
Now,
We
seriously.
can still kind of work you in there.
Were you sick last
Next
week, or
generation.
were you just
I
recovering
was sick
from your
last
trip?
week. I was sick.
Really?
That was
one of
the-
those illnesses you get when you run around in the mountains? I mean, what's
Well,
the deal?
I have really bad motion sickness, and so I got
Motion sickness.
Well, I get really bad motion sick, and so
Altitude
from
sickness.
the altitude, the motion and the altitude sickness collide.
Yeah,
it
that'll,
was
that'll
rough.
put you on the shelf.
That'll put you down.
It sucked.
It happened to me. I went to Pikes Peak as a kid and got really sick.
It does.
Did
like
you hit one of those oxygen bars while you were there?
I don't.
Has Bo told you about this stuff right here? This,
yeah.
Liquid IV.
Yeah.
Has Bo told you about that?
Oh, it's all over the U of A.
Hashtag no free ads.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
seriously,
I'm sorry.
we have
We're
absolutely.
going to get barred from YouTube?
Yeah, somebody pull up the stock market. That's got to be like skyrocketing right now.
I like the dynamic of Chuck and Jackson just conversating. The
It is
generational gaps. We should do that more often.
That's true. Actually, that's the
Jackson, have you seen Liquid IV?
That's the name of
before?
the segment.
Yeah.
No, I
Generational
didn't,
gap.
I didn't say have you seen it. I just meant can I recommend the stuff Bo is giving me.
Generational
May I
gaps.
recommend that?
It's
to
time
you?
for generational gaps with Jackson and Chuck. and this Chuck has a desire to close this gap based on his Slang-O-Matic purchase.
Well, I do.
Jackson can just cut through this
Hey,
for you.
what does snack mean?
What does snack mean?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know if I can say it on the radio.
So he knows. So he knows.
Don't know if I'm allowed to say that one.
Hey, that thing's only half accurate,
I was
Chuck.
going to say, there is a new profane edition of the Slang-O-Matic too, and we're going to.
I gotta be honest. When you ordered that thing, I thought that you were getting, come in the form of like a mini iPad or something.
I did
That's
too.
what I thought too.
What showed up looks
You
like
just
a
said-
cheap Christmas ornament you made at school.
Well, I know, and look, as I said earlier, it was billed as the modern day Rosetta Stone, and that's what that's what reeled me in.
You cannot make this up.
That's what reeled me in.
Those Facebook ads.
But
man.
it's as it turns out, it is not the modern version of the Rosetta Stone.
Did you get it off of TikTok?
No, Facebook.
Okay.
TikTok's a little too advanced for me.
Go in there.
But,
Go in there. If you want to strike up a conversation when you go into First Security Bank, take the Slang-O-Matic with you. How do you say deposit as a millennial?
That's not in here.
Yeah,
But
of course it's not.
snack.
Friendly, Chuck's stuck on that. Friendly local banking. That's how you bank better. First Security's all about it. We've experienced here that they are official bank of the Chuck and Bo Show, and they can be yours too. Friendly faces, more convenient locations, Arkansas people helping Arkansans, friendly professionals helping you bank better every day at First Security Bank, member FDIC. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. We're just kind of wading through it, figuring it out with you this morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more. They carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Hey, it's Bo, and for me, business comes down to working with people I like and can count on. And that's Teamwork Roofing and Construction. They do what they say, they're on time, and when they're done, it's like they were never there and you have a brand new roof. Built with expert craftsmanship and the best materials. When it comes to commercial or residential roofing, get the customer care Teamwork Roofing and Construction offers. Check them out on their Facebook page, Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality, powered by teamwork. Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I've discovered that if there's no food in the house, you will not eat. If you don't keep snacks, you won't snack.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Chuck, Arkansas's general manager is having a news conference this afternoon.
That's what I hear.
And we'll have him on the show at some point. I know he was a guest on the Razorback Daily this morning. I'm going to play a clip from him in a second. And actually, I'll do it now so you can finish the donut that you just stole from Bart.
I didn't steal it from Bart. It was an innocent mistake. And it was a really good donut, too. He was the only one. They're all gone.
You go down there to the Crispy Donut.
There's a donut
you get your
hole
order,
left in there.
You get your order, and they always throw in something extra, like a surprise. And so Jackson's talking about it, and I go get a Diet Coke out of the break room, and I come back, and they're just in stitches in here. And I said, "What happened?" And Bart said, "Well." I said, I think that donut looks pretty good. I think I'm going to go in there and get it. And I look over, and Chuck immediately gets up and goes in there and gets the donut.
Well, I didn't hear him say that.
He didn't hear any of it.
I didn't hear any of that.
And immediately just goes into a Diet Coke story with me about, being on a plane with Kevin Trainor. And all the while, you're just eating Bart's donut right in front of him, not even looking at him.
It's a good donut. Sometimes
I wanted it.
Sometimes that icing on the top of donuts after a little while kind of crushed up. This was not, man. It was, it was fresh. It was good. It was great.
Was it warm? Like
it was.
Right
one of these days, I'm going to show up with a box of donuts for everybody in the studio,
except me.
And no, I'm going to show up with one for you, Chuck, and then I'm going to sit there and eat it right in front of you.
I just love that he just executed that right in front of you to perfection. Anyhow,
I savored every bite.
Here's some general thoughts from Arkansas's first ever general manager, formerly with the Boston Celtics, Remy Cofield.
I think it's kind of a jack of all trades type of position, what I'm kind of learning through doing right now. Communicating with each coaching staff. First you have to establish relationships. Everything is based off of relationships, right? Some of these coaching staffs have never worked with me before. I've never been a part of their programs. They have to be able to trust me with what they're trying to do. And ultimately, it comes down to each and every coach's vision for their own program. What do they want to do? What are the players that they want to go after? How are they looking at this, right? And then how can we help? I think that's the biggest word, right? Help, right? How can we help them, help facilitate how they want to go about the recruiting, portal, tension processes, all that stuff, so that we can come to the best equation for our rosters. What I can certainly do immediately is definitely help with the negotiation part of it, talking to agents, making sure that we have those strong relationships, because when it comes down to having tough conversations, you need to have relationships with those people that are making the decisions on behalf of the athletes and their families, right? The day-to-day is a jack of all trades type of position. You're looking at so many different things. I think in the future, as things go along, being fully integrated into each process for each program, that'll take some time, but that's kind of the overall vision for how this could likely work in the future.
So that was on the Razorback Daily today. You're going to hear see a lot about this over the next couple of days. It's going to hit the news cycle. We'll talk to Brandon Marcello about sort of the new wave of the business of college sports coming up.
Why deal with the stress of commercial travel when you can fly on your schedule with Jet Aircraft? No TSA lines, no baggage claim, no waiting around. Just you and your crew flying in comfort and style. Whether it's a weekend getaway, a golf trip, or planning your football travel for the fall, Jet makes it easy. Seats up to 9 with a full bar, custom catering, and plenty of space. Visit Jet NWA for pricing and more. That's Jet with 2 T's.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
There's no better shopping experience than you're going to find at Macadoodles or at Guess Who in Bentonville. And every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. 15% off every bottle of wine in the store, even if it's already on sale. But when it comes to selection, amazing prices, and unbeatable customer service, Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville is second to none. Wine, beer, and spirits. Stock up for your next party, or just stop by and grab your favorite. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Do you guys want to go to SEC Media Days?
No.
We'll have all the audio, all the video, audio, whatever we need out of there, all the things that get said.
I'm going to be honest with you. When I said, Bo, let's do a show, I wasn't thinking about SEC Media Days. I'm going to be honest with you. Never even crossed my mind. And I hadn't even thought about it until you brought it up just now, and I'm like, oh, God, I didn't think about that.
That wasn't part of the dream?
No.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this much.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night, love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo Show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Second round of the NBA draft tonight. Adu Thero likely to go early. He did not go in round one. But we expect him to go early tonight. It's the end of John Calipari's 17-year streak, which is remarkable, of having a first-round draft pick.
And next year we'll say
Right back.
18 out of 19 years or 17 out of 18, whatever the total is. In other words, this will be the last time.
That's exactly right. This will be short-lived. Also, Arkansas softball landed Arizona transfer outfielder Dakota Kennedy, a two-time All-American and Gold Glove winner, who was also listed as a 5-star prospect in the portal and the number 2 overall transfer in the portal. Brandon Marcello joining us on the Chuck and Bo Show. CBS Sports, college football writer, 247 Sports as well. Brandon, good morning.
Good morning, guys. What's up?
Hey, Brandon.
We're just it's talking season. And so you got all the ADs and you got commissioners and people like you writing about the things they say. And we're also in this rev share new NIL air quotes era as we begin a new academic year this fall. And my just right out of the gate, Brandon, my question to you is, now there's $20.5 million to share, in an athletic department for players, and we've still got NIL. Is anything significant, in your opinion, going to really change?
I think that we probably will not see as many transfers coming up in December, and then if there's still a spring transfer portal next year, just because with the revenue sharing model now, schools will end up having buyouts in a lot of these deals, and other schools are probably not going to be willing to pay those buyouts because that money's going to have to come from their revenue sharing pile. It can't just come from an NIL collective. And that's going to really deter, I think, a lot of players from entering the portal. So I think the amount of players, at least in theory, in the portal is going to really, really, really drop this upcoming season. I think that's going to change things.
Interesting.
Now, the big program spending a lot of money outside that with NIL and everything, that's going to continue. But remember, I think this is one thing we'll learn here, but when players want to enter the portal now, if they have a buyout in their contract, which a lot of them will, and with this, that is going to have to be paid out by the school they transfer to. And that's going to deter a lot of these players from entering, because I think a lot of schools out there are going to go, we don't want to pay that because it comes out of our $20.5 million cap.
Hey, Brandon, stepping back, bigger picture for just a second. We all are operating under the thought that they've got the House settlement now. This is how things are going to be. And yet every day it seems like somebody, seemingly anyways, filing a lawsuit over this. Is this going to stick? Is there something, cataclysmic coming down the road where, all this may not turn out the way we thought it did? What's your take on all this activity around the periphery right now?
I'm not making much of it. Everybody expected a lot of lawsuits to come after the House settlement. We've got 2 so far, both dealing with Title IX as it references back payments. When we talk about the future here, starting July 1, you're going to start seeing more lawsuits after July 1 hits the calendar. Everybody's just kind of sitting in the weeds waiting for this to see what kind of revenue split they're going to have for all these sports, right? So A lot of schools are expected to follow the back payment model, which is 75% to football and then going on down. And some believe that that's a Title IX violation for women's sports. And once that model is in place, every school is going to handle this differently. Some are going to do 85% for football. Some are going to do 86%. Some are going to do 75%. Some might do lower. So everybody's just kind of waiting to see what all these schools will do. And once they actually start making those payments, I think that's when you'll start seeing more lawsuits. And it's not necessarily going to be, against the NCAA or the power conferences themselves. It's going to be against individual schools, because every school has a way to make a determination of what these deals, their revenue share parts of the pie should be. And all these lawyers are kind of just sitting in the weeds waiting to see when those are officially, quote unquote, announced and revealed when July 1 hits the calendar.
You retweeted a story about Texas Tech and their $55 million NIL rev share empire rising from the oil fields in West Texas. Can you summarize what's happened here? And do you think Texas Tech is about to become some monster in college athletics?
Yeah, listen, I reported a couple weeks ago that Texas Tech is expected to spend about $55 million this year.
My God.
With revenue sharing plus NIL deals that they put together, and it's believed to be, if not the richest revenue and NIL sharing system out there, but one of the richest at least. And you've seen the results, at least on paper, through the transfer portal for football. You guys saw the Texas Tech softball program this year went to the College World Series by, in part paying a pitcher over $1 million. So it's just a matter of, are we going to see the results on the field for the football program? They brought a lot of great players onto the team this year, and they want to win and win now. They want to strike while the iron's hot because, there's more of a crackdown on NIL deals. A lot of schools were front-loading stuff before this whole system went in place in July 1 because everything's being scrutinized more under this new system. You have to prove that these deals are getting a good return on investment. And so Texas Tech said, okay, bet. We'll pay everybody now instead of waiting until July. And that's how they drew a lot of these players in. And I think they're set up this year to be, maybe the Big 12 champion, certainly probably the favorite going into this year. And a lot of that just has to do with all the money flowing out there. And the big reason for it is Cody Campbell, the billionaire oil magnate, and who's been in the news lately as someone that had been tabbed by President Trump to lead his presidential commission looking into college athletics. And that's kind of on pause right now. But this guy's become quite the mover and shaker over the last couple of years, and it's all thanks to that oil money of his.
Here's what's interesting to me, Brandon, is they said, okay, we're gonna go all in. We're gonna do this. We're gonna play big boy ball. We're gonna get the billionaire, and we're gonna go all in on exploiting the loopholes or the flaws in the system we have in college athletics. And they all did, and a bunch of schools did this. They front loaded their NIL. And they're paying players before it's all regulated. But now it's going to be, and again, air quotes, regulated, because what does that really mean? I know what they say is supposed to happen, but does this end the Texas Tech we're all in sort of deal, or do you expect schools to continue figuring out ways to, what I'll say, overpay players in NIL funds?
They're going to try. It's going to be so much more difficult now because of the new rules in place. Every deal, as you guys know, has to be approved now by this new system called NIL Go. And so, the days of just paying a player $2 million to come to your school and, they post 4 times on Twitter or whatever and, as part of that deal, or, they have to do some videos or whatever with the school. That's not going to fly with NIL Go. They're going to go, that's not worth $2 million or whatever.
Excuse me. Go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, a lot of these schools and, boosters and everybody, they're going to find creative ways to obviously circumvent or, stretch the rules. That's just the way college sports has always been. It's a very competitive landscape. They'll find ways.
I wonder, Brandon, you talk about NIL value. NIL value in Los Angeles is different than Fayetteville, Arkansas. It's different in Fayetteville, Arkansas than it is in a lot of places. How do they reconcile all of that? Or do you think they're going to try?
They say they're going to try. I don't know how you can.
I don't know how they do that, because it would seem to me like you've got to go with the highest value. You can't say to somebody who's in a smaller market, well, the value for this kid in a different market's higher, so he's going to get more money than you. That is not something that's going to work in a competitive landscape. And I just wonder. Right. I just wonder how they're going to remedy that, because I think it's going to be a real issue.
Yeah, well, just if someone isn't tying it all together, like in L.A., you got more eyeballs.
That's right.
If you're doing a TV commercial than if you are in Northwest Arkansas.
That's right. It's worth a lot more.
And J.R. Carroll, who's a sports agent, said to us he thinks that in L.A. and New York they'll have ad agencies writing how
There's no
high
question.
the value is.
There's no
to
doubt.
prove it wrong in court.
And you've got to have some kind of bar national. You got to have some kind of standard. And I just that to me, Brandon, and you keep up with this a lot more than I do, and all of us do. But that to me, when from the outside looking in, I just don't know how you solve that.
Yeah, I think the only way you solve it is by getting Congress involved, and that's why the NCAA and all these power conferences have been trying to do that for so long, because they want they want the terms of this House settlement to be codified, but they also want other guardrails, right? They want some limits put in place. And the only way for them to do that legally is obviously to come from Congress. Whether they're going to get that, I don't know. They're still, I say infighting, they're still fighting over this in D.C., and it's among, of course, the Democrats and Republicans, because that's just what they do. It's a history like no other. But I do think that they're closer to a compromise of some sort when we talk about some sort of law coming about. The question is how do you, quote unquote, limit or kind of put a cap on things, or say that, what's the market value in LA compared to Arkansas? How do you do that? And how does, for that matter, in the interim here, how does NIL go do that? There's going to be lawsuits over that too, most certainly. I mean, there's already been talk among some athletes about, well, you're already limiting my earning potential now by putting this whole thing in place. And that's going to happen too. Long story short, there are so many things that could go wrong with all of this, even though it seems like it's going to help us. And the reason for it is because hundreds of lawyers out there have been licking their chops over this, because they see so many opportunities to go take these schools to court, and they're about to get their opportunity. A lot of schools, by the way, have saved money and put money aside for the very specific reason to protect themselves in court. They're prepared for these court battles. They know they're coming.
All right, before we get out of here, yeah, I know it's good. It's the lawyers are licking chops. Exactly right. College athletics is in the courtroom, like in general. And meanwhile, we're going to have football this fall. Brandon, give me a couple of just quickly as we head into media days in a couple of weeks. What's a couple of stories that you're really intrigued about with the SEC this year?
Well, of course, Texas is are they equipped right now to win the national championship right away? Also, LSU. Can Brian Kelly kind of get off the mat there and get back to that 10, 11 wins that they expect and he expects, and be able to get to the playoff? Because that's a program, as you guys know. If suddenly you're out of the picture, you're out of the party, you're not even making the playoff. I know that sounds weird. You're not even making the playoff, but it's a 12-team playoff now. The top 2, 3 teams, 4 teams in the SEC should get in there, and LSU should be a top 4 team every year in the SEC. That's the expectation. And if he falls short of that, especially with this roster and the transfer class they got coming in, that's going to be a dicey situation for him down there in Baton Rouge. And then also Florida, for that matter. Billy Napier took himself off the hot seat last year. I think they could be a top 10 type team this year. I just wonder if the administration there realizes that this is a top 10 type team this year, and if they fall short of those expectations, is Billy Napier on the way out again, as it seemed like he was last year?
Good stuff. We'll do it again probably before media days, but definitely afterwards. Brandon, thank you. Hope you're enjoying a little
Thank
summer.
you, Brandon.
All right, see you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Talk soon. Brandon Marcello from
He's
right
really
here in our
good.
back. Oh, he's done
really
a great
good.
job with his career.
Yeah,
nationally respected, working for CBS Sports and 24/7 Sports now.
He lowers himself to join us.
It's really
every once
kind
in a
of
while.
him.
Yeah,
It really is.
Hey, Fayetteville Auto Park. They have, I'm telling you, I went by there a couple of days ago. They've got just an incredible selection of automobiles right now, whether it's a new car, whether it's a pre-owned automobile. They've got them right there on the lot. I don't know about the rest of you, but when I go car shopping, I'm not saying I do it all the time, but when I go, I want a good selection. And you always find that at Fayetteville Auto Park. Great brands, Honda, Acura, Chevy, Toyota. A great pre-owned selection, certified pre-owned automobiles. And they make the buying experience fun, and they make you want to come back. And that's why they've been around for 25 years, why they'll continue to be around. And you can log on, check out their selection at FayettevilleAutoPark.com.
We're a little bit over our head
Well,
here,
I
but
know.
we're doing the best we can. We're doing the best we can.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
As a play-by-play announcer, my eyes are everything. I need to see every detail on the field to call the game the right way. So when cataracts started affecting my vision, I knew I couldn't wait. I went to Dr. Betts and the team at McDonald Eye Associates. And truthfully, I wish I'd done it years ago. The difference is incredible. The whole experience was professional, easy, and honestly life-changing. If your vision's holding you back, take it from me. Don't put it off any longer. Schedule your appointment with McDonald Eye Associates today.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Hey, it's Bo. And for me, business comes down to working with people I like and can count on. And that's Teamwork Roofing and Construction. They do what they say, they're on time, and when they're done, it's like they were never there and you have a brand new roof. Built with expert craftsmanship and the best materials. When it comes to commercial or residential roofing, get the customer care Teamwork Roofing and Construction offers. Check them out on their Facebook page, Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality, powered by teamwork. Today's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here and there.
Just
let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
Well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
used to be my opening line whenever I emceed anything. Chuck Barrett was unavailable, and last second, here I am. I'm always available. And so here we are today. Let's have a big time.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Rod is on I-40. Rod, it's been a minute. I hope you're well. Welcome to the Chuck and Bo Show. What's going on?
Not bad. I had to recover from the College World Series. So I kind of took a little time off, you know what I'm saying?
Everybody's coming
Actually,
to
I took I took a week's vacation, as a matter of fact. I just had to get away from it. But enough of the baseball team. Let's put that aside. The football team, I've heard these rankings of 12 for this division and 14 for that section. And, oh, yeah, we've got a pretty good linebacking core, but, you know, the defensive line's at 12. And I'm like, is there any bright point in the future to point to besides 6-6?
Well, first off, and I'm just going to be honest, I don't know how this thing's going to play out in terms of who's got the best defensive line or whatever, but I know this. Somebody writing for Lindy's doesn't know. I know whoever wrote the story for Athlon's probably not the most qualified to determine who the best defensive line and the worst defensive line are. You got to take some of this stuff with a grain of salt. I mean, even the good stuff.
A shot of tequila.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, my gosh. Are you worried, Rod, about the season? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think Athlon is fake news, probably. I try not to read too much. It works my brain. You know, I'm a trucker. I don't think much. If I do, it hurts.
See the road, drive the road.
Yeah, windshield time.
That's it. Haul the load, deliver the load, make your dock time. That's it. But, I mean, it's simple, cut and dried. I like simple, cut and dried. I've never even heard of Athlon before, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I hadn't. Still hadn't heard of it.
Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
So Taylor Green got engaged. Did you see this?
I did see something about that.
So Taylor Green got engaged. Thoughts on how that impacts the season?
Yeah, what do you think, Rod? What are your thoughts?
Well, I hope the wedding night soon so they can get over that before their first game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Don't have any kids if you ever want to have a career, because I'm telling you, that's why I went over the road, because, you know, they all turned teenagers and I went over the road, you know what I'm saying? Because
you got
I had
out
a
of there.
13-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 16, and a 17. I'm like, I'm out of here. I'll just send money. All I goes, you send money. So, a marriage can really
Father's Day.
affect you. You know, negatively sometimes, hopefully positively.
Well, hopefully you won't have a, 13, 14, 15-year-old.
Wow, man.
But I hear you.
Woo! Yeah, don't have them too close together, because first it's diapers, and then it's, can I borrow the keys to the car? Well, I only got one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but, you know, when you're in that truck and you're out there 1,000 miles away, you're kind of safe, a little bit.
This is real Father of the Year stuff right here, Rod.
This is.
Yeah, I never claimed to be. It was kind of a sandwich, you know what I'm saying? But it'll be all right.
Write this down.
He's providing. I'll tell you what he's out there doing. He's out there providing for his family. That's what he's doing.
That's exactly right.
He's out there bringing home the bacon.
You got to have the money if you got 4 kids at the house.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you got a wife, you need the money anyway. But, I mean, you really need the money once you get kids.
Yeah.
Because Dad always said, can't live with them, can't live with them.
Yeah.
He was a trucker, too.
Holy crap. Okay, Rod. Well, that was
thanks, Rod.
That was really something, Rod.
I enjoyed it.
Have a day. Have a
Thank
day.
you, Rod.
Yeah, have a day.
What do you got over there, Bart?
Just a text from BE in Clarksville.
And it says
Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room.
Chuck, why don't you read it? I feel like it's more profound coming from you.
Hang on, let me get over here.
It's got to get the readers on.
Okay, Rod on I-40. Let's see what we got here. See? Feel free to stop at one child. Talking about that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Holy crap. Hey, if you're dealing with personal injury, getting divorced, struggling with Social Security,
But back to your
disability.
point, I did see where Taylor Green's getting engaged. Yeah.
Drowning in debt. Call the team that fights for Arkansans. Bill Reynolds and the attorneys at Cadell Reynolds know how to get results when it matters most. From car wrecks to denied disability claims to filing for bankruptcy, they've got your back. Don't face it alone. Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com for a free consultation. Cadell Reynolds, make the right call. What to watch is coming up, and Lord knows what else. The two best guys in mediocre sports radio.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life, too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
At the Stonebreaker Hotel, we believe in the art of gathering, whether over a thoughtfully prepared meal or a quiet moment on Markham Hill. Start your day with breakfast classics from the all-day menu, served from 7:30 to 1. Savor shareable bites from the bar and lounge menu until 10. And let the dinner menu from 5 to 9 bring familiar flavors with a fresh twist. And for a weekend well spent, how about brunch? Rooted in connection, designed for comfort. Learn more at StonebreakerHotel.com.
Particularly in the South, I'm not sure there's a title that carries more weight than coach. Maybe preacher.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
For me, this was as rewarding a year as I've had in all my years. Now, I've had teams that were better and finished better and national champions and all that stuff. This was a different reward. Different reward.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Will Cal C. Adouthiro get drafted tonight? Of course he will. What to watch, brought to you by Macadoodles, just north of the state line. Bella Vista. Guess Who in Bentonville. Every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday, but they've got a great selection of wine, the best you can imagine. And 15% off every bottle of wine on Wednesdays, but great selection anytime. Beer, spirits, tasting, wine tasting, open to close 7 days a week. And they've got a tasting bar on the weekends. If you want to try something different, an amazing allocated section. But people go to Macadoodles, not only there for their selection, but really because of the customer service, which is unmatched. Competitive pricing, you'll find it all just north of Bella Vista, north of the state line at Macadoodles, or at Guess Who in Bentonville. So, Bart, along with the NBA draft, which starts at what time?
7 o'clock tonight on ESPN. No ABC, just ESPN.
Okay, and what else are we watching?
Well, here's a look at like the top 10 shows. Chuck, you mentioned during the break that you were looking for a new show to watch. These are the top 10 streaming shows currently from The Ringer.
Right.
Department Q, no idea, it's on Netflix. Poker Face on Peacock. The Gilded Age on HBO Max. New season of The Bear just came out on Hulu.
Ooh.
Great show.
Yeah.
Stick, which is that golf series with Owen Wilson on Apple TV Plus. Murderbot, also on Apple TV Plus. Love Island USA on Peacock.
Wow, now we're talking.
That is that's part of the water cooler conversation right there.
Love Island USA.
They're running out of options in the top 10.
You should go ahead and watch that, Chuck, and give us some reports. Duster on HBO Max, Ironheart on Disney Plus, and Just Like That on HBO Max.
And Brad Pitt's movie is coming out, the F1 movie.
F1 movie, yeah.
When is that? Tomorrow? 27th?
Well, it's probably out this evening, would be my guess.
Okay. All right.
I'm sure there are advanced screenings.
Oh, that's great. Oh, yeah, look for that.
Love Island USA, Chuck. Get involved.
Okay. All right, here's the deal. We had to do a short segment because Paul Biancardi, who's one of our favorite guests, the ESPN director of scouting, and knows college basketball inside and out, we'll get a couple thoughts on the draft, but then the expansion of the NCAA tournament and Arkansas's roster and how it stacks up against the rest of the country as it relates to basketball when we come back. It's a show today.
Well,
like it's, award-winning.
We got a lot
I don't
to
know,
pack
but
into this last
yeah,
hour.
we really do. And so we will be right back. Chris in Fayetteville, you're on the news weather information station.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, we're full service, baby.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, summer's heating up, and Splash Car Wash is keeping your ride looking fresh with a special deal just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one best wash and get 2 free. One for you, one for your spouse, one for a friend, or just keep them all. It's an easy way to stay clean, cool, and cruising all summer long. That's 3 top-tier washes for just $27. Text Splash Car Wash to 22322 to access this exclusive online-only offer.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yingling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yingling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yingling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
So I spent yesterday, you don't mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The only difference between me and Scotty Scheffler, just so we're clear, there's only one difference, is when it starts going south for me, like it was for him, I just keep going south.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
NBA Draft, Day 2. Second and final round of the NBA
You
Draft.
better tune
tonight.
in quickly if you want to hear a dude's name called. I think it's gonna
it's going to be
early.
quick.
It's going to happen early.
It's going to be quick. They
I
had
hope.
him. I think he's like, I don't know, ESPN's top 2 or 3 left. So we'll see.
First 5, probably.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if any other guys kind of get a contract in, free agency after the draft ends, or does somebody else go late in this second round tonight? Paul Biancardi is the ESPN director of scouting, and he's joining us now on the Chuck and Bo Show. Paul, good morning. We always appreciate you making time for us.
Good morning, Chuck. Good morning, Bo.
What are your thoughts on round 2 tonight? You think Adu Thero goes pretty quickly?
I think he goes inside, the top 5, 6
in the second round. I think he has that chance. I like his athleticism, his defensive awareness. You know, he was, I think it was 6 feet as a junior in high school. He grew 6 inches going into college, and you know, he brings a lot to the table. Not the shooter that the NBA wants, but does a lot of things really well in terms of finishing, switching, steals, and I like the way he's progressed over the course of time. You know, he came into college basketball as a 3-star athlete. Now he's, you know, going to be a second-round pick. So tells me he's a big-time worker.
We were talking just before you came on, Paul, about the possibility of maybe – is there anybody else that might get picked up late with an Arkansas connection, maybe some sort of deal after that? Is there anything on the horizon out there like that, do you think?
Not that I know of, but,
okay.
You know, in today's day and age, it could be as simple as someone decommits from school A, and now he's on the block. For example, NC State just had a center from Africa commit to them a couple of months ago. He decommitted last week, and now he's going to Kansas. I mean, that's how fast it changes.
What do you think?
You got to keep an eye on that.
What do you think of the roster that Cal has put together for his second year at Arkansas? We've talked as it's kind of developed a little bit, but it looks pretty much set now. How do you think it stacks up with the rest of the country?
Oh, I think it stacks up very well. I mean, look, the game starts in the backcourt, and you know you got Wagner back. I love the 2 freshmen. We can talk about them in a minute, but you know he brought in size as well. I mean, putting a roster together is one of the strengths of John Calipari. I mean, you can say it's recruiting, but he also understands, you know, what his team needs to survive and to be good at the level that he's at, whether it was UMass, Memphis, you know, Kentucky, now Arkansas. So I like the roster. I think they're a top, you know, if you want to go early pick, they're probably top 15, top 20 type team. I really like Wagner. I've always liked him over the course of time, and now he's one of your, you know, best players, and he's returning. Anytime you can retain your talent, and you also got Brazil. So it's a very strong roster with good incoming talent and great size.
How good are these newcomers? How good are these freshmen you were speaking of a moment ago?
Well, they're going to give you an injection of talent and scoring. I think Darius Acuff Jr. is a guy that is going to be very, very exciting to watch, almost like a Boogie Fland type in terms of his offensive output. I think he's mature physically, and he can score the ball at a moment's notice. When a play breaks down, you can give the ball to Darius Acuff, and he can make something happen. He's a better passer than people realize because he did have to shoot a lot of balls at IMG his senior year. You know, needs a lot of work on the defensive end, but can certainly guard the ball. Malik Thomas is that combination guard, can play a little bit of one if he has to, but really he has scoring on his mind. Built a little different, 6'4", more slender and sleek. You know, very athletic, and I like the way each guard can get his own offense. So, for example, if the play's stalling or the offense is in a drought, these guys are pretty good. They're pretty advanced at a young age to go get a bucket on their own. Obviously, they're going to have to learn how to play within the flow and function of the offense, but I like their individual talent.
Paul Biancardi, ESPN, Director of Scouting, tied in with the draft very well. And, you know, Cal had 17 straight years of having a first-round draft pick. That ended last night. I expect him to be back maybe in the green room next year. What are your thoughts on, does this streak end quickly as far as not having a first-round pick for Cal?
Yes. I think you have to look at Acuff Jr. and both Malik Thomas. Both guys have a real chance. And let's see what DJ Wagner does, right? You know, he can play himself into the first round. Billy Richmond as well. There's young talent on the roster. There's returning talent. And a lot of guys can also play their way into a draft. So, for example, you know, he's not on a draft board now, but all of a sudden in the fall they have a pro day. Pros like him, plays well in the non-conference, and the next thing you know is they have a good conference season, and they could be a first-round pick. So I think that streak was a one-year aberration.
Paul, what do you think about Carter Knox? He seemed like a guy as the season wore on, just got better, and we heard a lot of good things out of his summer. What are you hearing?
Well, he's working, and that's the most important thing. You know, what happens in the off season isn't sexy. It's you want guys that are dedicated, hitting the weight room 3-4 times a week, plus conditioning, plus working on their game in the gym alone, and then trying to find a pickup game. You know, the off season is where players are made. So, and Carter Knox has been a pretty hard worker his whole life. He's just got to continue to be more consistent. Gave them 8 points a game last year. Good free throw shooter. He's got to clean up his turnovers. That happens by watching film. So I'm excited about him next year. I mean, you look at the core pieces coming back, and Arkansas should be a top 15, top 20 team in the country.
Yeah. Any big surprises for you so far in the draft?
Surprises? No. Actually, not really for me. I mean, 10 of the 14 lottery picks were ESPN top 100 talent. It just shows me what a great draft class it is, 2025. And, you know, second-round pick are more international guys. They're more 4- or 5-year college players. They like to call them the super seniors, right? Mm-hmm. And Thero fits right in there. I'm excited about where he's going to go. I mean, I'm in Charlotte. We picked 33, 34. There's a good chance he could end up here because they drafted 2 shooters in the first round with Con Knipple and Liam McNeely. Now they're going to look for some size and defense.
You know, it's interesting. I was reading an article about how few players are in this draft compared to, you know, back in 2021. I mean, we're talking about a couple hundred less players. Yep. Obviously, the transfer portal and NIL have had an impact on that, right?
Yes. The transfer portal allows kids to continue to stay in the game and go different places without sitting. So you look at Walter Clayton Jr., for example. You know, Iona 3 years. In the past, right, he had to sit out a year, then play. Got to play right away at Florida, was ready to play after 3 years with Rick Pitino. And, you know, he made his mark in the game. So the portal really helps because guys can, you know, change conferences and levels quickly. And NIL's keeping them in the game longer because the money is real. Now they're getting revenue share, and there'll be true NIL money coming in now, and versus the recruiting NIL money that was going on before. So I think college basketball is trying to stabilize itself when it comes to the portal and NIL, but it's keeping players in college longer, which I think is great for the game.
Yeah.
I think it's great for the player. Like, you know, I know you want to, you know, get to the NBA, but it's ruthless. It's vicious, meaning like once you get there and you leave that little, you know, nest of college basketball, you know, once somebody's better than you or they like you they like someone else better than you, I mean, you're going to get shipped around and it's not going to be the life that you think. So develop your skills, develop your maturity, develop your body and fitness, and be prepared for when your name's called.
Yeah, it's a great perspective, and I do think it makes college basketball better. And we've been debating here about the potential expansion of the NCAA tournament. Are you for it or against the NCAA tournament expanding?
I'm good with it expanding, but just not too much, because then does it become a watered-down product? Do you get to the point where, you know, you're going to have 150 teams that make it? The one thing I would say, and I've thought about this a lot, and I think this is something to take a look at. You know, I was in the mid-majors for 4 or 5 years. I was in the high majors for close to 19 years. And I just would like to see the mid-major teams that win the regular season get an automatic berth to the NCAA tournament. If you're going to enlarge the field, think about that. And people will say, well, why should they get, you know, an automatic bid? Well, the Power Fives do, right? Really, the team that wins the SEC or the ACC or the Big 12, they're basically going to the NCAA tournament. So have the mid-major team that wins the regular season, put more value on the regular season. It'll create more excitement. And then some people will respond and say, well, then there's no reason for them to try hard in the conference tournament. Oh, yes, there is, because if they win that, then they get even a better seed in the NCAA tournament. So that's the change I would like to see happen.
Yeah, that's interesting. Always good stuff, Paul. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
making
Paul.
time for us in a busy
was
time.
great.
We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, always. Really enjoy having Paul Biancardi. ESPN's director of scouting, obviously knows the game really well. One of the few people at this time of year who understands what's going on in college and the NBA draft. That's an interesting perspective because for these smaller teams, which, you know, in our world, we don't necessarily talk about it or care about it that much. But if you think about having a great year and winning your league, and then you're in a one-game scenario in your conference tournament to not have a chance to play in the NCAA tournament, I mean, that makes sense to me.
Oh, I think he's
If
right.
you're going to
about
expand
that.
it.
I think he's right about that. I mean, in my opinion, anything that makes the regular season more interesting in January and February is good.
Hey, I want to tell you about this weekend at Oaklawn. This Saturday, June 28th, the grand prize drawing is happening for that brand new 2025 Bennington 22 MSB Party Barge. So if you're thinking about, hey, what am I doing this weekend? And you haven't gotten qualified down there for the grand prize, you can earn entries by playing slots, swiping your Oaklawn rewards card at a promotional kiosk. It's this weekend at Oaklawn. All kinds of things going on at Oaklawn. Log on to oaklawn.com for details. The event center, constant events coming up. Brett Michaels, back by popular demand, Friday, September 26th. The Righteous Brothers, a week before that, September 19th. You know, I think Jackson's going to any of that.
Yeah.
He's already been to the
Have you heard of the Righteous Brothers, Jackson?
Coldplay concert.
You know who the Righteous Brothers
Well,
are?
he knows who the Grateful Dead are. He's going to the Grateful Dead concert.
Yeah, but that's because his parents are into the Grateful Dead. He doesn't know who they are.
This guy is he's seasoned at
Well,
19.
he's
cultured.
he's done more at 19 than I've done.
Yes.
Period.
Hey, today's National Handshake Day.
Shake somebody's hand.
Stick a hand out.
Firm
shake
handshake.
A firm handshake.
It's National Firm Handshake
National
Day.
Bomb Pop Day. And National Coconut Day. You know what sounds good right now? Cup of coffee and coconut cream pie.
That does sound
We'll
good.
try again tomorrow. Have a great Thursday. Chuck and Bo Show.
Why deal with the stress of commercial travel when you can fly on your schedule with Jet Aircraft? No TSA lines, no baggage claim, no waiting around. Just you and your crew flying in comfort and style. Whether it's a weekend getaway, a golf trip, or planning your football travel for the fall, Jet makes it easy. Seats up to 9 with a full bar, custom catering, and plenty of space. Visit Jet NWA for pricing and more. That's Jet with 2 T's. As a play-by-play announcer, my eyes are everything. I need to see every detail on the field to call the game the right way. So when cataracts started affecting my